ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। सुखं नित्यं स्वप्रकाशं व्यापकं नामरूपयोः अधिष्ठानं बुद्ध्यबोध्यं बुद्धेर्दृग्यत्तु निर्मलम् अपारं सर्ववेदान्त वेद्यं प्रत्यक्परं महः तदेवाहं न मत्तोऽन्यत इति मे निश्चिता मतिः। So we have started with the core part of the text where teaching has begun, where teaching has started. In this part, we had seen that Shishya approached Guru and asked question about his own sorrowful state of samsari. He said that I am experiencing this sorrow, I am ignorant. Please guide me by which I will cross over this samsara, this transmigration in form of birth and death. For which Guru gave an answer that the idea that you have this samsara itself is wrong. You are that Brahman and your question itself is mithya and about that thing which is not really there. For which now the question was raised. If such is the case, I am experiencing sorrow which is not there. How come is it there? How come I am experiencing? If I am that Ananda Swarupa Paramatma, then I would not have experienced happiness when I come in contact with sense organs. So, when I am experiencing sense organs, at that time, or not sense organs, sense objects, at that time I am experiencing happiness. That means happiness comes from sense objects, for which Guru gave an answer, it is not true. If happiness was derived from sense objects, then it would have been experienced all the time, every time, exactly in the same way, equally, when or whenever sense objects were available or sense objects were experienced. But that is not the case. Then why am I experiencing happiness? Then author Guru gave an answer that abhilashita vishaya labhe tu kshanamatrang buddhi sthiri bhavati. When I experience my desired object, desired sense object, at that time my mind, my buddhi becomes sthira. It becomes one. It calms down. And when it calms down, when it settles, at that time the reflection of my Ananda Swarupa Paramatma appears. It is clearly visible, and that reflected happiness is experienced by me. So the happiness which I am experiencing while experiencing sense objects, that happiness comes from my Swarupa and not from the objects. How can you be sure? How can you distinguish? How can you say that the happiness that you are experiencing is coming from sense objects and not your Swarupa? For which the explanation is given. It is said that if that happiness was coming from sense objects, if that happiness was coming from sense objects, then eternally I would have experienced happiness. But when another desire crops up in my mind, again my mind gets agitated, it becomes wavy, shaky, and the reflection of that my Ananda Swarupa Paramatma goes away. And when that goes away, experience of happiness ceases to be. That experience of happiness also stops. Okay. Yet I have doubt about this argument, for which now example is being given. किंचान्यत यदि विषयादेव आनंदः नियमेन जायेत तदा प्रवासादागत पुत्रदर्शनजन्यानन्दः सदा अनुवर्तितुमर्हति न तु तथा भवति. If happiness was experienced derived from sense objects, then if this was the rule, niyamena, always, nitya, invariably, then tada pravasadagata putrajanyanandaha. When you meet your son, your progeny after a long time, who has come from distance, far away, after traveling, the happiness which is experienced will be experienced all the time, will be there always. Sada anuvartitum arhati. It will continuously be present. Natu tatha bhavati. It doesn't happen so. तथा ही कस्यचित् प्रियतरः पुत्रः चिरप्रवासी कालांतरे प्रत्यागमात् तद्दर्शनक्षणे जायमानः पितुः आनन्दः चिरकालम् अविच्छिन्नतया अनुवर्तितुम् अर्हति आनन्दहेतोः पुत्रस्य सदा सन्निहितत्वात्. तथा ही कस्यचित् प्रियतरः पुत्रः चिरप्रवासी कालांतरे प्रत्यागमात्. If his other son, who is more favorite, whom he likes more, when that child, that son comes home, he experiences happiness more. He experiences happiness more. So the level of happiness increases. That means the happiness that was experienced earlier was not from the son. Otherwise, equal happiness would have been experienced. Tad darshane kshane jayamanaha pituranandaha. Now, happiness which was experienced after seeing that son should have been there all the time. Why? Because the cause of happiness, his son, is always there with him now. If Vishaya, the desired object, was the cause of happiness, then whenever that cause, the desired object, is in your presence, then the happiness will be experienced all the time whenever that desired object is with you. But in reality, that is not the case. Then what is the Siddhanta? What is the doctrine? What is the rule? Siddhante tu putradarshanaadi tattad vishayajanyānandasya chiram ananuvrittehe एवं उपपद्यते तद विषय लाभक्षणे बुद्धिः निश्चली भवति तन्निश्चलायां तदा निश्चलायां बुद्धिवृत्तौ आत्मस्वरूपानन्दः प्रतिबिम्बितो भवति. He is again reiterating, saying the same thing. Exactly what is happening is, whenever you come in contact your desired object, tattad vishaya labhakshane, only during that period of time when that object which you are experiencing is desired. That object which you are experiencing is desired. At that time, your buddhi, your mind, the buddhi vritti, all your thought modifications in your mind, they become nishchali, steady, calm. Now, this is the point which we have to understand. The experienced object is desired because a desired object can be undesirable after certain amount of time, certain time period. And then that same object becomes the cause of sorrow. Only when our mind is calm, unperturbed, steady, at that time the reflected happiness is experienced. Buddhi vruttau, in that thoughts, in that buddhi which is steady and calm, swarupanandaha pratibimbito bhavati. Our swarupananda, our happiness principle gets reflected, and that reflected happiness is experienced. Sa eva anandaha anubhuyate, and that happiness alone is experienced. ततः विषयांतरेच्छया पुनरपि बुद्धेः चाञ्चल्ये सति तस्यां बुद्धौ स्वरूपानंद प्रतिफलनस्य विच्छेदात्. ततः, thereafter, विषयांतरेच्छया पुनरपि बुद्धेः चाञ्चल्ये, when another object is desired, again mind becomes agitated, and when that mind becomes agitated, in that buddhi, in that mind, swarupananda pratifalanasya vichchedat. पुरत एव सत्यपि प्राचीन विषये न आनंदानुभृत्तिः. Now, because new object is being desired, the earlier object which is still there, purata eva satyapi, even though earlier desired object is still in front of you, still there for available for experience, it is no more capable of giving happiness. If, say, let's compare this with another example. Let's say a lamp. A lamp gives us light, prakasha. Why? Because that is its swarupa. Then even when you bring another lamp, the first lamp is not going to stop giving light. Why? Because it is its swarupa. But let's say, for example, a mirror is shining. Why? Because there is some light which is reflecting from that mirror. I bring a brighter light, or the lamp, the light which is reflecting, that source light is taken away. Mirror will stop reflecting that light. So mirror by itself is not the source of light. Similarly, understand, if a desired object of desire, vishaya, was source of happiness, then whenever it will be present in front of you, whenever it will be available for experience, it should, it must invariably give you happiness. Why? Because that is its nature, that is its swarupa. But that does not happen. Like light invariably gives us, that lamp invariably gives us light, Vishaya does not give us happiness. Therefore, Vishaya is not source of happiness. किंच यदि नियमेन विषयाधीनः एव आनन्दः भवेत् तदा समाधौ योगानन्दः न प्रकाशेत. That yogananda, the happiness which is experienced in samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, would not have been experienced if Vishaya was source of happiness. Why do you say so? He says, Tatha sushuptau api. Similarly, sushuptau api na anandabhanam syat. Happiness would not have been experienced. Why? In both the cases, either in deep sleep or in nirvikalpa samadhi, what happens is, sushupti samadhyoho drushyarupa vishaya sambandhasya bhavat. There is no contact with any vishaya. There is no contact with any sense objects in sushupti or nirvikalpa samadhi. And when there is absence of vishaya, how can there be experience of happiness? But yet, we experience happiness in deep sleep and in samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, where vishayas are absent. Therefore, because happiness is experienced in absence of vishayas, vishayas are not source of happiness. Tasmat na vishaya anandaleshopyasti. There is not even an iota of happiness in vishayas. Then, किंतु आनंद आत्मस्वरूपानंदः एव सर्वात्मना सर्वत्राव भासते. But आनंद आत्मस्वरूपानंदः एव, our swarupa ananda, atmaswarupa ananda, happiness which is our own true nature, own swarupa, that happiness alone is experienced everywhere all the time, for which Shruti quotation is given, Raso vaisaha rasagayhevayallabdhva nandi bhavati. That Atma, that is rasa, essence, and gaining that, he becomes happy. Anandi bhavati, ananda swarupa bhavati. He experiences that unsurpassed happiness. एतस्यैवानन्दस्यान्यानि भूतानि मात्राम् उपजीवन्ति इत्यादि. एतस्यैवानन्दस्य, this happiness which is our own true nature, a part of that is being experienced by all jivas and they are satisfied. Everybody is experiencing Vishaya Sukha, or Sukha which is being experienced by everyone, is just a part of that Ananda Swarupa Paramatma. It's just a figment, a small part. So, Guru continues, He Shishya, Niratishayananda Swarupa eva Atma iti विषय संबंधाच्च सह आनंदः अभिव्यज्यते इति च जानीहि. हे शिष्य, O student, understand, निरतिशयानंद स्वरूपः एव आत्मा. What is the nature of Atma? What is your own true nature? Niratishaya Ananda Swarupa. Unsurpassed happiness principle. You are that unsurpassed happiness principle, but विषय संबंधाच्च सह आनंदः अभिव्यज्यते. That happiness which is not vyakta prakata, directly available for experience, gets expressed, becomes available on account of coming in contact with Vishaya sense objects. Just as अदृश्यो दृश्यते राहुर्गृहीतेन यथेन्दुना तथानुभवमात्रात्मा दृश्येनात्मावलोक्यते. A very beautiful example is being given. He says, how do you say, or how can we say, that a thing which cannot be seen is seen because of something else? Simple. Rahu. Now Rahu is not directly seen. You cannot say, see, this is Rahu. It is adrushyaha, not available for experience, cannot be seen. Yet, at the time of eclipse, Chandragrahana, because it is grihitena, grasita, it is shadowing, it is eclipsing moon. While it eclipses moon, it is available for perception. Rahu, which otherwise is not perceived, is perceived when it eclipses that moon. Similarly, Anubhava Matratma Drushyenatmavalokyate becomes available for experience when it comes in contact with Drushya Jagata or Vishaya, or any sense objects for that matter. Ayameva Samichinaha Siddhantaha. This is the appropriate understanding Siddhanta doctrine. What is it? You are Ananda Swarupa Paramatma. Vishayananda is nothing but the reflection of your own Swarupa in your own mind, which is being experienced by you. You as in Ahankara. Yadi asti atra te samshayah nirvyalikamev pruchha. If you have any doubt about this, without any hesitation, you can ask me. Ask me without any hesitation. Punha sphutameva tvam bodhayeyam iti gururaha. I will explain you the same thing again in detail if required. Now, student who is wise asks next question. He says, ज्ञानिनः अपि विषयेष्विच्छा विषयसम्बन्धात् आत्मानन्दावभासश्च भवति न वा तत्त्वदृष्टिः पृच्छति. Now this tattva-drishti, this student, he is asking this question. He says, Jnaninaha api, of Jnani also, Vishayeshu ichha, desire for sense objects, Vishaya sambandhat atmanandava bhasaha cha bhavati. Nava, Vishaya sambandhat, being in contact with objects of desire, atmanandava bhasaha, experiencing reflected happiness. Atmananda avabhasa. Avabhasa is reflection. Abhasa, unreal. Unreal as in because any reflection is not really there, but yet it is being experienced. So that Atmanandavabhasa, the experience of reflected happiness on account of experiencing Vishayas, does this occur also in case of Jnani or it does not occur? That is the question. हे सद्गुरो, ओ गुरो, ओ टीचर, विषय संबंधात आत्मानंदावभासक्रमः अज्ञान विषये प्रतिपादितः भवद्भिः. In case of ajnani, that you have experienced is understood by me. In case of ajnani, he or ajnani experiences reflected happiness on account of being in contact with Vishaya. Na jnani Vishaya. But you have not told me anything about a jnani. Does he also undergo the same process? Does he also experience Vishayananda or not? यतः यस्य बुद्धि आत्मस्वरूप विमुखा तमधिकृत्य प्रस्तावः कृतं पूर्वं भवद्भिः. The one who is not thinking of Atma, Atma Vimukha, the one whose mind is not dwelling on Atma Swarupa, about him you have told me in earlier part. What happens about him? How does he experience happiness? That you have told me. But तादृशस्य अज्ञान्येव न ज्ञानी. But that is about ajnani, not about jnani. तस्मादिदानीं ज्ञानिनः अपि विषयेष्विच्छा तस्यापि विषयसम्बन्धात् पूर्वोक्तक्रमेण सुखाभिव्यक्तिश्च जायते न वा इति बोधयितुम् अर्हन्ति भवन्तः इति. So, विषयसम्बन्धात् पूर्वोक्तक्रमेण सुखाभिव्यक्तिश्च जायते न वा. Being in contact with Vishaya, will Jnani also experience happiness or not? Or will there be something else for him? Why? Because if he is Jnani, he is always thinking of Atma Swarupa. And if he is thinking of Atma Swarupa, how can he experience happiness when he is experiencing Vishaya? So he will not have that Vishayananda. So does he have that Vishayananda? Does he experience Vishayananda or not? That is the question. So now the answer is being given. व्यवहार काले ज्ञानी अपि आत्मविमुख एव. व्यवहार काले ज्ञानी अपि आत्मविमुख एव. सः विषयानन्दस्य स्वरूपानन्दात् अभिन्नतां मन्यते. At transactional level, व्यवहार काले, during transaction, ज्ञानी अपि आत्मविमुख एव. Jnani also is Atma Vimukha, not thinking of Atma. Saha Vishayanandasya Swarupanandat Abhinnata Manyate. And he also Vishayanandasya Swarupanandat from Swarupa Ananda of Vishayananda, Abhinnata, not being different, oneness, Manyate, he understands, accepts. So Jnani also at the level of transaction, when he is not dwelling upon his own Swarupa, Brahma, Paramatma, at that time he also will experience Vishayananda, and he will not abhinnata, they are not different. He will not see Vishayananda different from Atmananda. So he will not be experiencing them separately. His experience will be exactly like that of Ajnani. How is it? Then what exactly is the difference that is now being experienced? He says, He Shishya, Shrunu Savadhana Manaha. Listen to me attentively. Yaduktam Atmaswarupa Vaimukhyameva Vishayechhadi Karanam iti tat na kevalam अज्ञस्यैव किन्तु ज्ञानिनः अपि तुल्यमेव तत्. That which you have asked, when a person is not experiencing his own swarupa, when he is not in contact with his own swarupa, when he is not dwelling upon his own swarupa, vishechhadi karanam, because he is experiencing sense objects, that is not only applicable to ajnani but also applicable to jnani, and their experiences, they both are experiencing one and the same thing, their both experience is same. ज्ञानी च यदा व्यवहारे प्रवर्तते तदा सः तत्त्वविस्मरणपूर्वकमेव प्रवर्तते. When jnani is in vyavahara, now this is a very important and beautiful important point and word, vyavahara kale. It is not vyavahare, vyavahara kala. He is aware of the surroundings. That is the important condition and part. We are not talking about Jivan Mukta who is conducting all his activities on account of Badhita Anuvritti or Samskara. This is a Jnani who is right now aware of his surroundings. In that case, tada tattva vismarana purvakam eva pravartate. He is aware of his surroundings where he is not dwelling upon his own swarupa. Tattva vismarana purvaka. Vismarana, not being aware of. Actually, vismarana can be translated into as he has forgotten. But it is not forgetting, but not being aware. It will be the appropriate translation here. Because once a knowledge is gained, especially in case of Brahmajnana, you cannot forget. You cannot say that Brahmajnana once gained, I have forgotten that. Otherwise everything will be useless. Pack up Vedanta. No need of learning. Why? At some later point you are going to forget it. That's not the case here. What is being said? When Jnani is not aware of his own swarupa but is aware of its surroundings, at that time Vishaya pravrutti kale ajnavadaste jnanyapi. At that time when he is experiencing Vishayas, he is like Ajnani. Not 100% exactly like Ajnani, but almost like Ajnani. ज्ञानिनः हि चित्तं सदैव आत्माकारमेव यदि स्यात् तदा तस्य जीवनादिनिमित्त भोजनादि व्यवहारः अपि न सिद्ध्येत. If Jnani's mind was always dwelling upon Brahman all the time, throughout days together, then how can he perform any daily activities, daily duties of bhojana, etc.? He cannot. Because if you are to perform all those activities, you have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to know what is happening around. Tasmat atma vimukha buddhi ubhayoho sama. So, Atma Vimukha Buddhi, Buddhi which is not dwelling upon Atma, is same for Ajnani and Jnani who is aware of his surroundings, aware of samsara. Ajnasya Buddhi sada Vishasaktatvat Atma Vimukha eva tishtati. But for Ajnani, for an ignorant person, his Buddhi, his mind is always Vishayasakta, always engrossed in Vishaya. It never dwells upon Atma. Jnaninastu buddhi yada आत्मनः विमुखा भवति तदा विषयेच्छा तत्सम्पर्कात् आत्मस्वरूपानन्दाभिव्यक्तिश्च अज्ञस्य इव तस्यापि जायते. And when Jnani becomes aware of its surroundings and experiences sense objects, he also will experience that reflected happiness and also will be aware of the prakata abhivyakta ananda, happiness which is available for perception, and that happiness which is available for perception will be exactly like that of Ajnani. So experience of happiness while experiencing Vishayas is same for Ajnani and Jnani. तथाप्यस्त्यत्र विशेषः. But there is a difference in between. What is that? विषय संपर्कात् भासमानः अपि आनन्दः स्वस्वरूपानन्दात् नातिरिच्यते किन्तु तदाभास एव इति विजानाति ब्रह्मवित्. Even though there is no distinction available for Vishayananda and Brahmananda. Why? Because for distinction they both need to be present in same period of time, in same pratala, in same state, in the same plane. But one is in transactional plane and one is in absolute plane. Brahmananda is from absolute standpoint. Vishayananda is at transactional standpoint. They both are in two different planes altogether. So distinguishing between them is not possible. But while experiencing Vishayananda, Jnani is aware that Vishayananda which I am experiencing can never surpass Brahmananda. Vishayananda which I am experiencing can never surpass Brahmananda, and therefore this Vishayananda can never be my prayojana, the purpose of my life. Just because I am aware of my surroundings, I will accept this Vishayananda as mithya, relatively real, and continue experiencing that happiness. Tadabhasa eva. तथा च विषयभोगेऽपि ज्ञानिनः समाधिरेव सिद्ध्यति. Therefore, even while experiencing Vishayas, for Jnani it is like samadhi only. Why? Because he is not affected by Vishayananda. He is seeing that as the happiness is coming from his Swarupa. He is seeing that happiness as the happiness which is my own Swarupa, and the experience is relatively real, mithya. Paramarthatastu ajnastu ayam anandah swarupananda eva iti naiva veda. But Ajnani never knows that this happiness is my Swarupananda. He always thinks that this happiness is coming from Vishaya. Paramarthatah tu Jnani Ajnani cha iti ubhayorapi Swarupam Ananda eva Ajnasya Vishaye Ananda Pratitihi Bhrantireva. In reality, from Paramarthika Satta, from absolute standpoint, for Jnani and also for Ajnani, for ignorant person and for person who has known, experienced, Sakshat directly, for them both, Swarupam Anandaha eva. Their both true nature is of happiness principle. Ananda Swarupa. They both. It's not that because he has become jnani, his Swarupa ceases to be Ananda Swarupa. It's not so. They both have. They both are Ananda Swarupa only. But for ajnani, अन्यस्य विषये आनंदप्रतीतिः भ्रांतिरेव. But for ajnani, the happiness which he is experiencing in Vishaya is bhranti, is delusion alone. So, in conclusion, for jnani and ajnani at transactional plane, they both will experience happiness when they are experiencing Vishaya, and that happiness will be nothing but reflection of their own Swarupa, or reflection of our own Swarupa. But Ajnani does not know, Jnani knows that this Vishayananda is delusion, and in reality it is nothing but reflection of my own Swarupa. It is mithya, and he continues experiencing as long as he is aware of its surroundings. Now, दुःख विषयक प्रश्न प्रत्युक्तयः. Now, दुःख विषयक प्रश्न प्रत्युक्तयः. Now, the question is about dukkha, sorrow, nature of sorrow, and answers are being given. First question. सांसारिक दुःखस्याश्रयः. सांसारिक दुःखस्याश्रय प्रश्नः. Now, the first question is about what is the ashraya, the support of sansarika dukkha. Sansarika dukkha, dukkha, sorrow which is experienced from this samsara. हे सद्गुरो स्वामिन्, त्वं परमानंद स्वरूपोऽसि इति भवता यदुक्तं प्राक् तदहं सम्यक् जानामि. I have understood well that whatever that you have said, that tvam paramananda swaruposi. I have understood that I am of the nature of unsurpassed happiness principle. जनन मरणादि दुःख संसार रूप महादुःखं कालत्रयेऽपि त्वयि नास्त्येव, अतः तन्निवृत्तये तवेच्छा अत्यन्ता संगता इति भवदुक्ति विषये तु कश्चन संशयः भवति. But I have a doubt about your statement that this samsara which is in form of birth and death, this sorrowful state of samsara, is not there in you in all three periods of time. It was never there, it is not there now, and it can never be there in you. It is not your own Swarupa, it is never there. Therefore, your desire to remove that sorrowful state, to be liberated from this samsara, is asangata, inappropriate, is not logical. About this statement, I have one doubt. What's that doubt? यदि अनुभूयमादमिदं जननमरणादि दुःखं मयि नास्ति, तर्हि मदन्यं कमाश्रित्य तदवतिष्ठते इति दयया मे वद भोः. If that this sorrowful samsara is not in me, this sorrowful samsara which is being experienced is not in me, then what is its support? Where is it? It should be there because it is being experienced. And if the support, if it is not existing in me, then it should be existing somewhere else, on some different locus. What is that locus? What is that adhisthana? What is that support? संसार दुःखस्य आश्रयान्तरावगमे हि मयि तन्नास्ति इति मम दृढा प्रतीतिः स्यात् इति शिष्यः पृच्छति. Only when I understand that this samsara is supported by something else, then alone I will clearly understand that this samsara is not in me. So please tell me where it is taking support, and when I understand its support, then I will know it's somewhere else and not in me. So Guru answers, न कस्यापि संसारः अस्ति इति गुरोरुत्तरम्. Samsara belongs to no one. There is no adhisthana, there is no support where samsara is existing. He Shishya, Shruno me vachanam. Listen to me carefully, listen to my answer. Tena te sarva samshaya nivrittihi syat, by which all your doubts will be expelled. Janana maranadi samsara dukkham na kutrachidapi asti. This samsara dukkha, this sorrowful samsara or this sorrow does not exist anywhere, is nowhere. It's not there anywhere. It's not there in all three periods of time. अनुभूयमानमपि इदं दृश्यं जगत् कालत्रयेऽपि त्वयि मयि अन्यत्र वा कुत्रचिदपि अणुमात्रमपि नास्त्येव. There is not even an iota of this samsara in all three periods of time anywhere, whether in you or in me or somewhere else. So it's nowhere in some location, and it is never there in all three periods of time. अतः एव अस्य जगतः अत्यन्तनाशः न कुत्रचिदपि संभवति इति. Therefore अत्यन्तनाशः, complete cessation, complete destruction of this jagat, this samsara, is not possible. Why? How can there be destruction of an object which is not there? There can't be. असतः संसारस्य कथं प्रतीतिः इति प्रश्नः. Now the question is raised, if such is the case, if this samsara is not there at all, how come I am experiencing this samsara? How is it that I am experiencing this samsara? He Krupalo Sadguru, O Guru, O Wise One, O Compassionate One, जनन मरणादि संसार दुःखं मयि वा अन्यत्र वा कुत्रचिदपि न स्यात् चेत् कथं तर्हि तत् प्रत्यक्षी भवति? If it does not exist in all three periods of time, it does not exist anywhere else, neither in you or in me, then how come it is being experienced? How can I experience something which is not there? न हि अत्यन्तासद्वस्तु कदाचिदपि उपलभ्यते. An object which is never there, an object which is not there at all, can never be experienced. वंध्यापुत्र गगनारविंदादि असद्वस्तुवत् संसारः अपि अत्यन्तासच्चेत् अत्यन्तासंश्चेत् कदाचिदपि उपलभ्येत न उपलभ्येत न कदाचिदपि उपलभ्येत उपलभ्यते तु तस्मात् जन्ममरणादि दुःखरूपः संसारः नास्ति इति उक्तिः न युज्यते इति शिष्यः पृच्छति. Just like Vandhyaputra, son of a barren woman, sky flower, flower in the sky, like all these objects which do not exist at all, they can never be experienced by anyone. Similarly, संसारः अपि अत्यंत असंश्चेत असत चेत, if samsara also was totally non-existent, then it would not have been experienced at all. But because it is experienced, upalabhyate tu. Therefore, to say that this janma maranadi dukkha rupa samsara, this samsara which is in form of birth and death, is not there, is wrong, is illogical. Guru says, yes, what you have said is right. संसार प्रतीतिः मिथ्या इति गुरोरुत्तरम्. What you are said is right. But understand, जनन मरणादि प्रवाह रूपम जगत परमार्थतः कालत्रयेपि असदपि प्रत्यगात्मा एव ब्रह्म इति अजानतां केवल मिथ्याभूतम अवभासते. Now, Guru says, because प्रत्यगात्मा एव ब्रह्म इति अजानताम, my swarupa is Brahma, is not known. This pravaha rupa janana maranadi rupam jagat, this jagat is being experienced which is not there. Just like in dream स्वप्ने अनुभूयमान पदार्थाः आकाशे नैल्यं रज्जौ सर्पादयश्च परमार्थतः कालत्रयेपि असन्तोपि मिथ्या एव भासन्ते, तद्वत् जगत् परमार्थतः असदपि मिथ्यारूपेण भासते. Just like objects which are experienced in swapna, the blue color of sky, the apparent snake on rope is being experienced, all of these which are not there at all, yet they are experienced as mithya. Similarly, the experience of this jagat is mithya, for which Shishya raises a question. I understand the comparison between the Darshtanta and Drishtanta. रज्जौ प्रतीयमानसर्पादयः यदा मिथ्या तथा एव प्रत्यगात्मनि प्रतीयमानसंसारदुःखमपि मिथ्या इति यदुक्तम्. Just like snake is appearing on rope, similarly in your own swarupa atma pratyagatmani, this samsara dukkha is being experienced which is mithya. Please give me a comparison, and if I am to understand how this samsara that is being experienced in atma is mithya, I must understand how snake is appearing on rope. What is the process by which snake appears on rope? Here, author is now going to enter into Khyātivāda. Author is going to explain what is the process by which snake appears on rope. We understood it is adhyasa. What is adhyasa? But again author is going to go into detail and explain the process by which, or it is going to define in certain different terms. He is going to compare different definitions and explain how and why this experience of samsara is mithya, but that we will see next time. Om Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.